at the end of the day, when the camera's rolling, you just have to get into character and you have to learn how to switch on and off. So yeah, we were friends off camera, but then when you're on camera and you have to do certain scenes.
But she has such a sweet face. And
you have to do what you have to do. You have to do what
It
the
was
script
kind of
demands.
fun. It was exciting
Yeah,
to
it
get to
was-
do that because not many actually people get to do that in their regular jobs. Like Ahan said, I think it's switching on and off. So I think what we do in the film stays in the film, and then if we did take it back home, I think that would be quite problematic, especially what we're
Yeah.
doing in Tadap.
Yeah, I think
Probably
it's-
best to not do it at
Yeah,
home.
I think it's very important to not take your work life back home.
does it make you appreciate what you do have in real life when you
yeah.
say it as a story?
Sure, if you think
Yeah,
about it that way,
definitely,
for
yeah.
sure, yeah.
They let me make the mistakes I make, and then they let me learn from the mistakes I've made. So they never, they give me that freedom, you can say. And then when I make those mistakes, yeah, there are times where Atiya will give me some gyan, or my dad will tell me like, I told you. But yeah, they give me that freedom, so I'm very, very thankful for that.
It's going amazingly. I'm almost done with the villain shoot. I'm very excited because I get to sing in that film, so it means a lot to me.
Hi Ahan, hi Tara, welcome to Pink Villa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Firstly, there's so much excitement surrounding on Tadap because it's not just the storyline, but it's also someone's very big debut, in films. And my first question is for you, I mean, I would assume that there's a lot of excitement, but there might be nervous butterflies as well because you have people like Big B and Salman Khan rooting for you. So
Definitely.
how does that feel?
Yeah, there is a lot of excitement. I am nervous, and the support that everyone has shown me. There is a sense of I'm kind of in a way responsible to prove that I am a good performer. So yeah, there's both nervousness, excitement, and just anxious.
And going to Tara, Payal's role was, it was loved by so many because
Yes.
of how complex that character was.
Yeah.
She wasn't just a love interest, but she was so
Right.
much more than that. So getting into that role, knowing that it has been played by someone else, did you feel any pressure before signing on to the role?
No, actually, absolutely not. I don't look at it that way, I think, so that's really helpful to begin with. It was such a fantastic and well-loved film, of course, RX-100, but Tadap has been approached very uniquely and very differently to most films in our industry have been. And I think that Ramisa's role in Tadap is something really very special and unique because there isn't just, like you said, it's not your run-of-the-mill love story. It's not your run-of-the-mill heroine role. There's so much to her, and that's what really excited me when I even watched the film and I realized, okay, they'll adapt it differently, but the essence of the story will remain the same. And at its essence, it's so interesting and so unusual that it would have been foolish if I had said no.
And I think one of the highlights in the trailer was obviously the ending, with the choking scene, because you have so many, they're in love and then suddenly he's choking the living life out of her. Since you guys are also friends, you can see that, you all have a very cordial equation, which I assume was on set as well. But to do such an intense sequence, how was that shoot experience like? You have to hate each other, but then you all are also friends in real life. So how was that experience?
That was actually the first few days of shoot that we
Yeah.
shot together.
Milan sir decided to
Just
have
was-
us do that
Hit
the
you
first
bang
few
on.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, when the camera's rolling, you just have to get into character and you have to learn how to switch on and off. So yeah, we were friends off camera, but then when you're on camera and you have to do certain
But
scenes,
she has such a sweet face. And
you have to do what you have to do. You have to do what
It
the
was
script
kind of
demands.
fun. It was exciting
Yeah,
to
it
get to
was-
do that because not many actually people get to do that in their regular jobs. So to have this job and to get to do that, I mean, obviously after Ahan, what you saw in the trailer where he's choking me and then I fall, I've never done something like that, and obviously neither has Ahan. So it was something new for us to experience together, and it was sweet. Ahan would sort of do it, and then after they'd be like, cut, and he's like, are you okay? I'm really sorry. Is your neck hurting? And it was sweet. It was fun and exciting to
Yeah.
get to do something so crazy.
And the characters that you all play in the film, it's not necessarily a very healthy relationship as you get to know it, throughout, cinematically.
Right.
even though y'all are actors and y'all have to pretend to play these characters, when y'all have played it for so long, there's a part of it that remains with you. So does that make you appreciate your real life relationships more in comparison to how it is in the movie?
Like Ahan said, I think it's switching on and off. So I think what we do in the film stays in the film, and then if we did take it back home, I think that would be quite problematic, especially what we're doing in Tadap.
Yeah, I think
probably best to not do it at home.
I think it's very important to not take your work life back home.
Does it make you appreciate what you do have in real life when you say it as a story?
Sure, if you think about it that way, for sure, yeah.
And this question is for you. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sunil Shetty and your sister might have given you a lot of advice on what, how to go about your acting and stuff. But is there any advice they gave you on what not to do? Like, it would be better because they have experienced it themselves. So you should probably stay away from it.
Both of them don't tell me what to do or what not to do. Dad has always told me, he only advised me on certain things like how to keep my hair, how to keep my beard, my appearance, stuff like that. They let me make the mistakes I make, and then they let me learn from the mistakes I've made. So they never, they give me that freedom, you can say. And then when I make those mistakes, there are times where, Athiya will give me some gyan, or my dad would tell me like, I told you. But they give me that freedom. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
And for Ahan, obviously this is your first film, and you would assume that, if given a choice, you would have done something more glamorous, like the chocolate hero is what you would assume for a first role at least, and then you start showing your depth in other films. Why did you choose Tadap? Or, when it came to you, what was it about Tadap that were like, okay, I have to take this role?
I think it was definitely the character. It's a very different role. It's not that chocolate boy. Actually, in a way, it is a chocolate boy, but then at the same time, it changes. So it's almost as if I'm playing a double role. Same character, but two completely different personalities. So that's what really, that's what really attracted me to the character, and that's what made me really want to do the film. And it's a very different type of love story. I'm guessing you've seen RX 100, so you know. But there was no I wasn't in search of something different. This just happened to fall on my lap, you can say, and that's how we went about it.
Okay, and Tara, you've been a part of remakes as well as sequels, with two really big ones coming out soon. What is your take on, Bollywood recreating with remakes and sequels and so forth?
I think it can be such an interesting process. I'm a part of a couple of amazing franchises that I couldn't be happier to be a part of. I think the treatment and the writing is obviously the most important because it's sensitive. People love franchises. The films that I'm a part of have been very well loved in the first part. So it is very important that it's sensitively written and keeping in mind the audience's love and adulation for the first part. We have to do an even better job, and it's not a pressure as such, but it is, I would say for me, more exciting and more challenging to be a part of this. I think it's completely the director and actor's prerogative, and the producers, of course, on how the treatment should be for the film, and I think that's the most important part.
And I feel like I have to ask this for Tara fans. Can you give us any update on Equivalent 2 and Heropanti 2? How is that going about?
It's going amazingly. I'm almost done with the villain shoot. I'm very excited because I get to sing in that film, so it means a lot to me. And I've had the most fantastic equation with Mohit Saw and the Balaji team, and everybody that's acting in the film. Couldn't be happier to be a part of it. And Heropanti 2, we have tons of work left, which is really exciting. And that's going to start next year, Jan.
And I'm very curious to know now, and say when you all started shooting, what was your first impression of each other, and how is it now while you all are, because even before the interview you all were chatting like friends do.
Right.
And so what was your first impression of each other, and what is your impression now?
Say.
So when I first met her, we were actually doing screen test, and we didn't know each other before that, and I was a little nervous during the screen test. Also, I was trembling a little bit, so they made fun of me for that. But in terms of impression, I thought she was a wonderful girl, and since then we've just gotten very comfortable with one another, and I think now it's a completely different relationship we share.
And Tara?
Like Ahan said, I didn't know him at all. I didn't really come in with any preconceived notion.
Right.
I think I literally just seen Ahan at the same restaurant that I was dining at one evening. That's the only time I had seen him. But yeah, literally didn't know anything about him.
Did you
we
ask
did
him for
have a
any
couple
Salil
of-
Shetty stories?
Oh no, I don't think
No.
that. I don't think that came up in the
Didn't
first
know.
meeting. But we had a very interesting, lovely first meeting at the office, and we read some lines from the Dirty Picture together, which Milan sir shot. So that was really fun, and now we're super comfortable. I think we just basically laugh at each other and make jokes.
And you know, theaters are finally open for one and for all, but there's always still that, you know, that do we go to theaters, do we not go to theaters? Would you have liked for your film to have released in a pre-pandemic era? And how important is box office for you now, especially with the pandemic era still, unfortunately, still going on? So what is your, because before box office matter, I mean, it still does matter, but now it's not just box office, it's also content,
Right.
especially with OTT releases. So what is your take on the entire idea of whether box office is more important or content is more important?
You know, I think it's a mixture of both. You know, if you have good content,
Yeah, and since it's your first release as
right,
well.
yeah, you know, if you have good content and you get a good box office, you get good box
Yeah.
office numbers. I mean, it's always good. But yeah, like we have so many great films coming out before ours: Suryavanshi, Bunty or Bubbly 2, Satyameva Jayate 2, and Antim.
Yeah.
So you know, those are such big films that they're bringing back the audiences in a way
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, in terms of the OTT debate, then you know, I wasn't afraid if we were going to come on OTT. I feel like OTT is also a very big platform,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's helped a lot of people during the pandemic,
Yeah.
whether it be viewers or you know,
Even the
actors.
industry
and,
at
yeah,
general,
definitely,
yeah.
you know, definitely helped the industry because a lot of actors got a lot of work, a lot of directors got a lot of work,
Kept it
technicians.
thriving through the pandemic.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, Bollywood came to a standstill. Yeah, theaters did, but in terms of content, you know, we've seen such good content throughout the pandemic, so it's been good.
And that.
It's a funny thing. I don't know why I don't really think of, when I think of films and the films that I'm a part of, I don't really look at the commerce aspect of it. While it is amazing to have a commercially successful
Yeah.
film, which is what I think all of us want, somewhere it's, I come from a theatre background, so for me commerce hasn't really been my prerogative to choosing something. But obviously I think the story and the writing is obviously key to anything, and if that is something you believe in and that you surrender yourself to completely and give it your all, it's impossible for it not to work. Because if you feel something, like even when people have seen the Tadap trailer, they have felt something at the end of it, especially that last shot leaves someone feeling something, and I
Yeah.
think that's all we can ask for as actors. So if that's what they feel, then I know that touch wood, it'll be okay.
And I'm glad it's in a theater because it's a big screen and everyone loves to see that in a big, I mean, not the choking part, but the rest of the movie. Anyways, thank you guys so much for
Thank
your
you so
time
much.
and
Thank
best
you
of luck
so
for
much.
the
Thank
movie.
you.
Thank you so much.